and I have been a Cambly tutor for going on 2 years now, so I feel pretty well informed and equipped to be able to speak on these things. So today I want to do a video about the pros and cons of teaching for Cambly. I'm going to break it down into 3 pros and 3 cons for this video and then make it a series until I run out of things to say. All of the cons for today, this video, are related to pay. So the first one is just the general overall pay, and all of these opinions here are based on my experiences as well as my comparison and knowledge about the ESL world and other companies that I've worked for. So as far as like with other companies that I worked for, the pay was significantly more than here. So Cambly pay in comparison to other companies there's no comparison, just to be very honest. You get paid for adult classes 17 cents per minute, which comes out to $10.20 per hour. And then you get paid 20 cents per minute or $12 per hour to work with children. So you make more to work with kids, which could be a pro or a con depending on your preference. If you don't like working with kids, you kind of get the short end of the stick there. So that is the pay. I have made usually 2 times that per hour with like bonuses and things like that for other companies, so something to keep in mind. Is the no-show pay and practices. So it's pretty typical when you're working for an ESL company that, you know, the teacher is required to show up and wait for at least 10 minutes for the student to show up. So you wait, if the kid doesn't show, you're good to go, do whatever. But that's still the case for Cambly. However, in other companies that I've worked for, in others, other companies' standards, when you wait the 10 minutes for the student, after that you're paid as if you taught the full class because you held up your end of the bargain. You showed up on time, you waited for the student, they didn't show, that's out of your control. So with Cambly, you only get paid for the 10 minutes you wait. For the children's, you make $2. And then for the remaining amount of your class, 20 minutes or whatever it was, you then have to get students to fill that class, and you can't schedule classes last minute, so you then have to go visible or sign up for a priority hour, which you would have had to have done beforehand. So I won't go into the details about that, but that is a big con for me. And the last con is the no pay for tech issues. So being an online platform, they're going to happen. Working with people from all across the world, it's going to happen, guaranteed. So, sometimes there's tech issues on my side. Losing pay for that, kind of understand. But again, there are things out of my control, and I feel like that should be taken into consideration. And then when things are out of your control completely and it's a tech issue on the student side, you still don't get paid for that. So if their video goes off, if you can't hear them, if there's some sort of connection, it'll say like trying to reconnect or whatever, all of that time when you're trying to reconnect, or you leave the classroom to try to figure out a tech issue, you restart the class or whatever, you lose all of that time. So we're paid per minute. So any time that you're not connected during that time trying to figure out a tech issue, or the student is trying to figure it out, or you don't have a tech issue and the student's just gone and you're waiting for them to come back, you do not get paid. So even if you're like, when I'm in a class and I'm watching the countdown clock, the student, it says it's reconnecting and the time is still going down, if I leave the class and come back, or the student comes back, the timer hops back to where all of that started. So if you were at 5 minutes and you waited for them for 2 minutes and they come back 2 minutes later, you're still at 5 minutes. You've lost 2 minutes of pay. And those minutes add up because we're paid by the minute. It throws you off schedule as far as if your next class starts right after. That's another thing I'll get into later, is scheduling. So those are my big things for pay. I think that if a tutor shows up for the class, if there's a tech issue, it has nothing to do with you, nothing you can control, you should get paid. But that is not the practice at Cambly. Alright, now let's switch it over to some positive things. So the biggest pro for working at Cambly is the fact that you can teach anywhere. A lot of ESL companies you aren't eligible for if you don't live in a certain country. So with Cambly, as long as you speak English and you live anywhere and you have a stable enough internet connection to make classes work, you are free to make them work and work with Cambly. So that ability to move remotely anywhere, you can do it on vacation, I can do it when I'm traveling. I lived in Jamaica for a while, I taught from there, and I also found that when I was there, Cambly worked better than some of my heavier duty programs with like animations and videos and things like that. I think it just took less bandwidth, so it was more compatible with the internet I had abroad, so that's something to consider as well. And the second one is hours. They are open 24 hours because they work with people from all around the world, versus another company I worked for instance, was just China based. So I had to work from like 2 a.m. till like 8 a.m. and then like 5 p.m. until like 9 p.m. to catch a lot of students, which is really rough, staying up that late and just being like awake enough to be present in class, and then for the rest of the day as I'm trying to do my own thing, or like I said, bond with my family, be productive, that kind of stuff. So to have that flexibility in hours is amazing. You can test it out, see what works for your time zone, see where you get the busiest matches. Of course, they give you like peak hours to know when most students are online, but you can choose to work that time it's convenient for you or not. And the next thing, and the biggest thing for me, is the laid back class style. Like I said, I've worked for companies that have a lot of animations and buttons and clicks and rewards and things all built in, which is nice and lovely. But the learning curve can be severe. It can be very intimidating for a while until you get the hang of it. And those classes also seemed like, when I left, I was like, wow, like maybe it's the fact that I started at 2 a.m. or maybe it's the fact that you're expected to be perky. I don't know. But by the time I was done, I was like exhausted. It had really drained me. When I leave Cambly classes, I don't feel that so much. I definitely love that you can pull in your own materials. That's encouraged. You can go with the lesson they give you. You cannot go with the lesson. You can pull in other things that they have available on the website. You can pull in supplementary things. You can do videos. So that freedom and that laid-back class style to just have conversation, if that's what you and the student want to do, is lovely. So those are 3 pros, 3 cons of Cambly. If you are considering being a Cambly teacher, I highly encourage you to apply. Please use the referral link that I have in the description box so we can get that bonus. And like, subscribe, comment, share this video. Let me know if you have questions, please. I'm more than happy to answer questions. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.